And I was like, wait a minute. I thought COVID was vaporized in the room. My wife can't. Oh, oh, they don't think I might not, I might not make it.
Yeah.
That finally dawned on me. And I called the nurse to tell I needed to talk to the doc again. So the doc came back. His name is Doc Ula. And he's like, yep, we've called your wife. I go, you need to call her back. And you need to tell her why she's coming in. Like she just probably thinks she's coming in for a visit.
Hmm.
And you need to tell her why she's coming in. And he was like, okay. And I go, and before he walked out, I touched his arm. I said, hey man, you've got one job today. You make sure I go home. That's your only job. And he ended up doing some pro bono work on me because he wasn't in my insurance, which is crazy. Insurance is wild bananas.
Yeah.
And he told me that when I told him that, he walked out in the hallway and cried
Yeah. It's heavy.
because, yeah, it was super heavy. And I can remember my wife coming in and they had me. I remember I was low enough to where I had to look at her through the stainless steel guardrails on the bed. Um, and I can just remember holding her hand and just kind of being with her in that moment. And it's still pretty heavy,
Yeah.
but huh. But yeah, she stayed there with me, and I can just remember fading in and out of consciousness, basically, like just sleep, or maybe it was sleep. I don't know. I don't want to overstate what it was. I have no idea. Um, and I don't know. I don't remember how it came up, Thomas. I just remember thinking to myself, like, I just remember fading in and out, and for whatever reason, I can't remember. She was like, if you, and I don't, this whole time is like, it's just difficult, you know? Like, it had to be freaking hard as hell for her.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and she said something, and I always say it wrong because it makes it sound like she's like, you can die whenever you want. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It was more like, I love you, and Eva and I just want you to know that Eva and I will be okay. Is more, do you
Yeah.
understand? I
Yeah.
hope you
Uh,
understand the sentiment.
yeah. I do.
It's not like she was like, all right, get
No, I
on, get.
I I get it. Yeah. 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 I get it. I absolutely do.
Because I've told this story and she's been like, well, that sounds like I cared all that much if you died or not. And I was like, oh, I didn't mean to put it off like that.
No, I get what you
But
mean.
um, I remember telling her, I was like, I am just really tired. And I remember like it was very hard to breathe. I think I told you like my oxygen was like in the 20s,
Hmm.
20 some liter, however high you can be on probably, I don't know, quarter-inch tubing.
Hmm.
I had an over nose cannula. It was all vaporized, moisturized air. And I was just like, I'm just so tired. Like my body feels tired and I'm tired of fighting. I don't really want to fight anymore.
Hmm.
And I can remember looking at her and like drifting off. And then I can remember distinctly opening my eyes and being in the woods. Like I was standing in the woods and I was like, I can't remember what I was wearing. Um but I was standing in the woods and I was looking around, and it was like leaves, like you could even smell like how the earth smells in the woods, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, like as far as I could look right and left, it was like a lane of trees. Like you couldn't see. And as far up as I looked, it was trees as far up. Like it was just trees forever. But it was like daylight, but you couldn't see. I don't know how to explain it. But I was like walking in leaves, and I looked down and I kind of looked around and I looked up and I was standing in front of a cabin. It was like in a clearing. And at that moment I was like, I wonder I wonder if I'm dead. I wonder if I died. Like is this what I wonder if we each just I wonder if this is what heaven is for everybody. Like you like the song said, like you get your there's many rooms and this one is, and this one's mine. And I was like, man, I wonder if I died. Like I've never died before. I don't know what dying's like. And
Yeah.
then a voice, I'm 110 on this, that it was the Lord speaking directly to me, because we had spoke a lot. Like it was the closest I had ever been in relationship with the Lord in my life when I was in the hospital.
Yeah.
And he had told me, you are not going to die. You have to tell my story and raise your daughter. And I was like, man, is that like, is this, am I just cooking this on my own? Like I didn't know. But then at that point, it was crystal, man.
Yeah.
Like I want you to tell my story, not your wife in your death have your story told. And I want you need to raise your daughter. And I was like, yeah, I need to raise my daughter and tell his story. And then my eyes opened up and I was looking at my wife. And I was like, I think I just went to heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really think I just came back from heaven. And she's like, where did you go? And I was like, I don't know. Like I I wasn't here and I was in the woods, and then the Lord told me, and I go, I'm not dying here today.
Mm.
And this COVID isn't killing me. I already know that. Whatever happens, I'm not dying. And she was like, yeah, I know. And I think she was still in comfort mode. Because it looked bad, dude. Like
Yeah.
there's no way to sugarcoat it.
Yeah. It would be hard to believe there.
And she was like, I know. And I was like, no, I'm serious. I'm not. This isn't killing me.
Yeah.
He told me I have to tell a story and I have to raise Eva. And she was like, okay. And like, she doesn't know it, but I saw in her eyes, like, they changed from like sorrow to like determination. And she says there was no feeling, but I guess you could say I could discern it.
Mm-hmm.
I could see in her eyes something absolutely change. Um, and the, the devil attacked me 3 times after that.
Mm-hmm.
He brought music into I hadn't thought about music in 2 weeks, dude. Not even a blip on the screen. And all of a sudden, old songs I had listened to started playing in my head. And I rebuked the devil out loud, like loudly and boldly rebuked the devil and cast him out of my room. And these nurses are wide eyed. Like, why is this dude losing his mind in here? He is dying. This dude's gone. He's a goner. Like, the devil is in here. And I had to do that 3 times, and then it was quiet. Like, nothing was in my head after that.
Hmm.
And then in like probably like 8 or 9 feet from my bed, there's this like huge eight, like ceiling to floor, probably 6 foot wide, oval shaped ball of light. Like people, I've told people this, and that's where they get sideways with it. Like they can, okay, you think your brain told you went to heaven. Okay, you saw something different about yep, all right, all that, yep. But when I tell them that I saw a gate, or either either the Lord, a gate, or one of his um, one of his messengers was in my room.
Yeah.
I saw the light, plain as day. Nobody else could see it. I said to my wife, almost like if you ever went on a road trip, you're like, hey, look over there, there's a deer. That's what I did to my wife. I go, hey, look over there, that huge ball of light. Do you see that? And she's like, I I don't see anything.
Wow.
I was like, I'm telling you, it's right over there. And then it, like, I don't remember if it went away or what happened to it, but then there was this like weird feeling, like this, like you could tangibly feel love in the room, or
Yeah.
like beauty, like you could feel beauty. It was so, it's totally indescribable. And I've told, the way I tell it is like, if you were to pick up like a piece of paper, or you can feel your hands, or you can feel, like you could feel beauty or love in the air, like, or in the atmosphere. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was so, it was the wildest thing that I've ever had happen in my life. Um, and then they said that there were no beds. There's no beds in Indy. There's no beds in Muncie. There's no beds in Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois. There's no beds anywhere.
Hmm.
And they were like, you're going to have to go be put on it in an ECMO chamber, which is kind of like a modern iron lung.
Okay.
I don't know. I've rambled, haven't
No,
I?
you're good.
And if,
No,
all
geez,
right,
you're good.
well, so to end kind of that, the whole death story, which everybody loves. uh, they said that I was going to have to be put in an ECMO chamber and await a lung transplant, and they didn't have ECMO in Anderson. So they were like, we'll let you know if something happens. And I told Beth, I was like, we'll be going somewhere. I already know that.
Hmm.
Like, because I'm not dying. I've been told I'm not going to die, and he promised. And I promised to tell the story. And probably, I don't know, 45 minutes later, they walked in and said, yeah, Muncie, or we're sending you to Fort Wayne. I think it's Parkview Hospital in Fort Wayne. They have ECMO chamber, and you're gonna go there to await a lung transplant. And I said, I effing told you. And I was like, I told you. Like, we were both crying and rejoicing in the fact that the Lord's promise was real. Like, I everybody knows that the Lord's promise is real. You don't go around church and saying, "Oh, the Lord promised me something, and I know it's a bunch of crap."
Yep.
But when it turns out that the Lord's promise is real and you see it happen, it's different.
Oh yeah.
So, but I ended up going to Parkview, Parkview, and no ECMO and no lung transplant, and they turned my oxygen down automatically as soon as I got there.
Wow.
So either the doctors at Anderson don't know what they're doing and should be have their licenses revoked, or I was miraculously healed from the moment that I went to heaven, the
Yeah.
moment I came back and went to Parkview, you know,
Yeah, the
I
process
was,
started.
yeah, for sure.
Dude, that's awesome.
So, yeah, and that's the brunt of the story that
Yeah.
the Lord wanted me to tell.